Hello and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my re-review or review update of the Tier 10 British tank destroyer, the FV215b 183. So in my original review I said it was a good tank. So is it still any good? Yes, it's still a good tank. It had a buff and a nerf in patch 9.5, which is the reason for the review update. I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we go through. Just to let you know, I generally speaking load HE as my first shell. As you know, I don't like using premium ammo unless I cannot possibly penetrate the tank without it. That's pretty much the only reason I ever load it. I haven't fired a premium round for the last 3 months that I've been playing, and I had 3 months off before that, so at least 6 months. So anyway, I have a HE shell loaded. The reason I load HE is because generally the first tank you see is either going to be a scout, and the HE shells on this tank do 1750 potential damage versus the 1150 potential damage of the AP ammunition. So that's why I load HE. The other reason I load HE is generally speaking when you meet a heavy tank or a TD, at the start of the game they're usually taking up their best possible position. So an IS-7 for example will be hull down, or some TD will only be showing its gun mantlet or something like that. People tend to get their best posse at the start. Ooh, T69. Well, that's why people drive this tank. With just one shot, a T69 early on in the game. So yeah, HE shell, bang, fully penetrated the side of the T69. I've now switching to an AP round. AP rounds on this tank have excellent penetration. Anyway, yeah, so that's the other reason I have HE at the start of the game, because people are generally, when you first meet them at the start of the game, heavy tanks are in a position where you can't penetrate them. Oh, here we go. Oh, 1256. So 1150, I think it is average damage, so good damage roll there. And he is hurting. So we've been very lucky. It's 0.4 accuracy, this gun, so we've been very lucky with the gun so far in the game. But yeah, so with a HE shell, say if you shoot an IS-7 in the turret, you'll still probably do about 400 damage. So, you know, it just means at the start of the game where they think they're safe, suddenly you're making them maybe have to move position. Aim at this 75, we get him on the front corner and it does pen the AP. It does about average damage. So he's hurting and he's now dead. So, as you can see, we hit the front corner there, so great penetration with those AP shells. So another reason I'm showing this replay is just to say you don't have to use gold ammo and spam gold ammo out of this tank to have a pretty good game. Although I have to say I'm being a bit lucky with the accuracy. So yeah, so what they've done is nerfed the mobility of the tank. It used to have a track traverse of 32 degrees a second, which was excellent for a tier 10 TD. I can tell you that shot actually missed. But they've nerfed it from 32 to 24, so it does traverse quite a bit more slowly, which is a bit of an issue if you get like a scout tank come up and try and get you back. But other than that, it hasn't really made a difference. Now they have buffed the armor, so the armor of the turret, that is. So the frontal armor under the gun was 254 and is still 254. But above the gun was 152, is now 170, and that has made a little bit of a difference. And the mantlet sides, I'll just shut up while we take this shot at the E100, side of the turret. Very nice, good damage roll, 1371, poor bugger. So the mantlet, the sides, either side of the mantlet was 127, now 210, and the other part was 101, is now 200. So they've substantially buffed the area around the gun on this tank. However, the bar across the roof is still a weakness. So the cupola area, and there's like a bar that goes right across the top of the roof, is still a weakness. So if you're at reasonably close range, people will just roll up and shoot that bar on top of the roof. So really the armor buff has made no difference at close range. People didn't shoot your mantlet area anyway. But at the range I'm at now, it's very hard to shoot accurately, and so it does make quite a difference at this sort of range. It is a buff when you're shooting at long range, but generally speaking this gun isn't very accurate with 0.4 accuracy at long range. You do tend to miss quite a few shots, so you still want to get closer than this normally. I've just had a bit of a lucky game here. So it's debatable, I guess, whether it's overall a nerf or a buff. If you're a long range shooter, it's probably a buff. if you like to get close up, it's a nerf because the turret hasn't really given you any advantage, and it's now harder to, keep up with scouts and things like that. So it's up to you on your play style, I guess. So also the terrain resistance was reduced, so it's a little slower over a rougher terrain. Ooh, T49 is going to come out. Now don't shoot because I'm not fully aimed. Don't know what shot. I'm fully aimed now, and he's staying still. Ouch. So my shot actually went a bit to the left there of where I aimed, but the tank was predominantly to the left of my aiming point, so it worked out quite well. So I carry 2 rounds of HESH and 3 rounds of HE, and so that leaves me with, out of 12 rounds, that leaves me with 7 rounds of AP that I carry per game. And right now, their tanks are all pretty much damaged, so I really should switch to HE ammo now. But because it's like standard reload is 30 seconds, with vents and cruise skills and all that, mine is down to 24.7 second reload. I just shoot at this guy in case. I thought maybe I hit him, but I can tell you now I didn't hit him with that shot. So, yeah, I really should load now HE because everyone's pretty much damaged, and rather than risk having my shot absorbed by tracks or something like that, I really should use HE to be sort of pretty much sure that I'm going to kill or come close to killing anything I hit. So that's probably what I do wrong here, and I probably hang back a little bit long as well. Since I've still got full health, I really should have advanced a little bit sooner. But as you can see, the tank works fine with standard ammunition. I don't think it's too much of a nerf in patch 9.5. Still a good tank. Still OP. Well, it's not really OP. The gun does do a lot of damage, but the tank still has substantial weaknesses. And the reason I've managed to stay alive is because they didn't have any scouts coming out. If a scout had come out, my cover would have been blown where I was, and that Waffentrager on the hill would have been just smashing me to pieces because it would have got into my my lower plate, which is extremely weak on this tank, and the sides are extremely weak as well. So yeah, been spotted again, but the E100 is protecting me from the WT, so I'm able to get through. And let's see if we can get a shot on this WT 100. Can we do it? Okay, we've got the turret. The turret would be perfect for the HE ammo. We'll just blow it to bits. I rushed the shot a little bit and hit his... Looked like I hit the front of his track, and it absorbs the AP round. If I had HE there, it would have come close to killing him even with the track hit. But there you go, and trying to reload this terribly long reload, and he's killed before I can reload. So they've only got a couple of scouts left, and I can tell you I don't get there in time to get a shot on them. So that's it, folks. Let's have a look at the stats and finish up. So only a class 2, which probably goes to show there's still a lot of people out there only firing HESH ammo. It's over $8,000 per round. $8,000 credits per round, the HESH ammo. So, and HE ammo is actually cheaper than the standard ammunition if you fire HE out of this tank. But yeah, okay, you can have better games using the HESH ammo. But you know, like I say, even though a lot of people say this is their fun tank and it's the only tank they fire, yeah, they spam premium, I still don't like it. I just don't think it's fair on other players. Anyway, high caliber, of course, for that game. And let's have a look at the next screen. So we didn't actually get a lot of XP, and probably because we weren't doing any of our own spotting. We weren't close enough, so we're relying on everyone else spotting. So we probably lost half of the XP for the damage we were getting because it was a lot of long range shots. So we finished sort of mid-table. Now you can see here I'm platooned with a couple of guys. They were just random people who it was just one of those random platoons. When people ask to join them, I generally join them because there are some missions where you can do as a team. Some of the missions to get those free tanks, And I sometimes do that when I need to do those missions. I'm not needing to do those missions at the moment, but I feel that if somebody wants me to join a platoon, I'll just join because hopefully it'll help them complete their mission. Shots fired 8. 6, we hit with 6, and one of them was absorbed by the tracks on that Waffenträger E100. We did 6,217 damage with 5 penetrating hits. Crikey. 5,000 for a distance of more than 300 meters. That is, people who play this tank a lot will probably be saying, holy crap, you were lucky to hit those shots, and I was. 5 tanks damaged, 2 destroyed, and 57,000 income and 40,000 profit, which is unusual in this tank, but it's mostly because I didn't get hit. I think it costs about 33 grand to repair the tank, so if my tank had have been destroyed, we would have made about 7 grand, so a huge difference depending on if you take damage or not in this tank. And yes, 780A raw XP was enough for class 2. Now, I got 5,000 extra XP, but that was for a mission that I completed as well. I think I completed one of the TD missions on the second tank that I'm on. Alright, well, hope you liked that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more reviews, I've got another review coming out probably tomorrow. Please subscribe. And in the meantime, have fun.